So we now got the fitting video for the Audi Q7, the brand new Audi Q7, the 2016 onwards model. It's the SQ7 as well. So our side steps fit the SQ7 as well. So we're going to have a look at what we get out of the kit for our side steps. Let's go under the vehicle. So, underneath the vehicle, one of the first things that you'll notice if you manage to get underneath there, or if the garage is fitting it, is that the Q7, all the models, have these various shields underneath. For example, this kind of beautiful setup here. So with these shields, you've not only got like the main shield, but you've got these sort of foam resistance pad shields there. You take them off using these sort of clips and poppers all the way around the edges here, and they're like a screw system. So the popper actually goes into there and it screws up like that. So that's on the other side acting like a nut, and that goes in. So that's quite good that it's a screw, because sometimes with the like clips in there, when you remove them it can sometimes break the clips, but with these being a screw, it's pretty straightforward. Let me gently put this on the floor. So once you've removed some of the shields, like on the back one here, you sort of lower it down. On the other side here, you'll notice with the petrol tank, we've had to remove the shield on the floor there and remove the front part shield, two parts there, same on the other side. What we'll do is we'll look at how the brackets go on this side, and then we'll go over to the other side to see them fitted, and how you can replace the shields as well, with possibly having to cut around the brackets. So with the rear bracket first, it goes quite far back. Let me see if we can get under here. It's a bit of a challenge getting under here, just bear me a second. So you can see this bolt here, flange bolt. It's probably about, I don't know, it must be a 10mm one at least. So as you can see, that will bolt to there, and underneath the sill here you have to cut around, and underneath there there'll be a bung, an area that you take out the bung, and then you add a T-bolt. So this will bolt to that bolt, this will fix to that bolt, and then this will go to the T-bolt, and it'll be kind of sticking out like that. It obviously requires that you need to cut this plastic section out to access it. If you have a look on the other side, we've had to sort of not cut the whole section out, but what our fitter's done is he's pulled this area down, and he's just taken a little sort of noggin out of the plastic rather than cut a big chunk out, in order for us to put the T-bolt in. But to make it a little bit easier, underneath, it's difficult to see, but underneath here he's just drilled out it's about a 12mm wide hole, just so that when the T-bolt's sticking down and you can get a socket on there and then tighten it up, it just makes it a bit neater, so you don't have to cut the whole thing out. And obviously on this this rolling arm here, you've got this bolt here, 10mm flange bolt, and it's bolted to that. Back onto this side, my friend. So this bracket here comes at an angle somewhat. Corresponds to this kind of like large plastic bung there, and into the sill there you can see the rubber bung. Now you will have to cut a section out here. Well, again, we'll go on to the other side in a second to have a look. That comes out, T-bolt gets slotted into there, and then on this back part here onto the chassis, that comes out, and the T-bolt will come down from there, and then that will stick out at an angle. So now onto the front of bracket. Get this bracket up here. So if you can see these two bung holes here, it's the furthest back one. You remove that, T-bolt sticks through there, and then on the front you've got the same issue where you have to cut a section out of the inner plastic sill. It's not detrimental to anything, to be honest with you, because you've got enough clips going all the way around to keep the plastic covers in place. You've got like a rubber bung underneath there. You have to remove that rubber bung, cut away, and then this will bolt up to there and stick out. And here's one I prepared earlier. Well, our fitter prepared earlier. So again, you've got the two bungs. The furthest back of those is the 10mm T-bolt that stays in. It comes back here. You see the section where it's cut out. Just makes that sit up easier. Well, I think you have to do it really in order to get it up. Now the middle bracket, again we'll cut it out the section here, we'll put the T-bolt on, and at back here you've got this 10mm T-bolt up here. Super duper, and then you've obviously seen the rear bracket before, haven't you? But let's, when it comes to fitting these under trays back on, the best way around it to do it is to locate, you've got these corresponding clips here, like at the top there. Obviously they've got a sort of captive nut on them, and you've got these clips here, and then you've got these sort of mounted areas which these sort of falling bolts attached to. So if you were to sort of line them up, some of those, you can actually see what needs cutting off as regards the under trays. Now, in this instance, depending on how many connections you've got and how many anchor points, it may be, because of here, obviously if you had some chalk in your hand here, you could line this up and then you'd have to mark where the bracket comes out, mark down there, and again with the middle bracket. So if I've lined this up like that, I would get some chalk and I would mark down here, up and across, so that this bracket's not in the way. So once that's down, those sections there are marked. I would get the cover down, and you get an angle grinder or a hacksaw or something along those lines, and just slice along, cut that section out, cut that section out, get a file and deburr it, and the same with the rear section here. So the rear section has obviously got a part here for the cutout. Again, you'd match it up with the points on the chassis, just like that. So where your bracket comes out, you actually haven't got much to cut out there. You've literally got about this much to cut out. So you get your chalk mark down and down there like that. And then what you're cutting out there, about a block there of about sort of 6-7 centimetres by 4, and then you can put those safely back on, the shields back on again. So everything's fitted on nice and neatly, no drilling required, just a few bits of cutting out of the plastic shields. Full instructions are given on the website and on YouTube. You can buy with confidence from direct to my